Paramo have a number of fabrics in their fabric stables, and I've used them extensively for years. And while there are certainly comparable fabrics used by other premium outdoor brands, I have grown to really trust Paramo's choice of fabrics. For example, this analogy garment that I'm wearing today, I still rate as the best outer layer for the UK conditions. But today we're going to have a quick look at a relatively new fabric for them. It's been in their range now for a good few years, but still relatively new, and that is the Parameta G. So what is a Parameta G? Parameta G is a base layer fabric primarily. It's a polyester base with a grid pattern of little microfibers. So what does that mean? In practical use, what it means is that you've got a directional fabric. So the next to the skin part picks up the moisture, and the large surface area generated by the little microfibers on the other side, the non-skin side, gives a excellent surface area for a few things to occur. To start with, it allows moisture to be pulled from the direction of the skin, and that large surface area allows it to evaporate from the inner to the outer layers. So it's actively moving moisture away from your body, keeping you dry. Now, it does have a few other advantages. When worn on its own as just a heavyweight base layer, so in spring months and things like that, or at the bottom of a mountain in a warmer area after going up into the tops, what happens is that that large surface area allows that moisture to be removed by the exposure and has a fairly powerful cooling effect, keeping you relatively cool when working hard. However, as soon as you put a windproof layer over that, what you'll find, I'm going uphill now, so I'm going to remove a windproof layer from my Parameta G beanie, is that the microfibers then trap that layer of air. And as all outdoors people will tell you, insulation works by trapping small areas of air. That's why down's so good at it. And as soon as you put a windproof layer over the top of that microfiber to stop air movement, you then get that air trapped, and it adds an exceptionally good insulative layer. So in that sense, it is a very multifunctional fabric. Today, I'm wearing the hat, the Technic grid top, and the grid long johns. So I'm gridded from head to foot, and as a base layer, it really is an excellent material because you've got that flexibility. I've got some enduro trousers on today, for example, and I can vent, and in that vent, I can then, when I'm starting to get warm, as I am now going uphill, in fact, I'll do it now, in fact. That now is allowing air to circulate far more freely, and I've already noticed that the temperature on that leg has reduced, which is what I want. So this kind of replaced the old version which you saw in things like the mountain shirts, which I've still got and they're still going, and that particular type of fabric is really well thought of. Now, where did that fabric go? The problem with that fabric is, from what Paramo have told me, is that the production facility for it just wasn't reliable, so they weren't getting the volumes of the fabric through that they required, and therefore, unfortunately, they decided to leave that particular fabric out of the range. And I know it has had a good following, but trust me, the grid is an excellent successor to that particular fabric, and I've used it now extensively for years, and it does really make an excellent base layer material, and a mid layer material for that matter. You know, I've used it in really cold conditions as a technical mid layer, and I'm one of them people who definitely produces a lot of heat and therefore tends to produce a lot of moisture, so I really do require a excellent breathable fabric to keep me dry and to keep my temperature controlled nicely. It has a bit of stretch to it as well. There is far stretchier sort of mid base layer materials on the market, but what I found with those is they tend not to be very durable. And one thing I will say for the grid, by God, it's durable. Now, if you're a Paramo fan, and I know there's a lot of Paramo fans out there that have been using Paramo for literally years, 20, 30 plus years like myself, you'll know they just produce very durable outdoor gear. I mean, nothing's indestructible, don't get me wrong, and a piece of barbed wire will go through pretty much anything, but it really does, on the normal outdoor use, stand up. The base layer I've got on at the moment, which is a grid layer, I've owned for a lot of years, and I've used it a lot and washed it a hell of a lot, because it's top that I'll use working in the shop, because it's just a nice comfortable garment to wear in that environment. And as a result, it's been washed hundreds of times and I've just not noticed any kind of change in it. There's no pilling, and you know, that's what you want from a premium fabric. Not only do you want it to be technical, so in other words, it looks after you, you also want it to be a long-lasting investment. And I think that anything made from Parameta G will definitely end up being that, in that its durability really is there. So all in all, it is very much in line with the Paramo philosophy of having multifunctional garments, things that look after you in all conditions. We have a very complicated environment in the UK. We're very, very damp here. We have a lot of moisture in the air most of the time, and we can be very cold as well. Just hovering above freezing, when you've got that moisture still left in the air, can be a very difficult place to keep your temperature control accurate and keep your temperature control within a comfortable margin. Definitely Parameta G is one of those multifunctional fabrics that really does stand the testament of Paramo in its philosophy of allowing moisture, movement and insulation where you require it.